AWS. Yes? So how many of you here have worked on AWS regularly, or you're working on it? Okay. How many of you know that but have not started it? Okay, many. At least do you know what kind of things are there inside? Have you heard about S3, EC2, ECS, ECR? Yes? Okay. Today, before starting, if at all you have a time, you can just explore about that. What AWS is there? Who are their competitors? What do they do? Okay. What is the primary thing that they mostly concentrate on? Okay. So I'll just give a heads up on what I am using in that. So basically, I work in the product. So we use S3 for that. And we have ECS. So we have multiple servers. It's a microservice architecture. So we basically it is a multi-tenant architecture that we follow. So we have multiple servers on our admin side and also on the user side. So we went for ECS, and we have used EC2 instances for a few of them. So we just Dockerize and compose it, and we'll have that line. And we also have auto scaling groups attached to that, load balancers. So this is, so many people here do not know so many concepts, so I'm just giving the words, so at least you will have an idea to go through them later. So similarly, we also have something to this Azure, GCP. So now recently in GCP, Vertex AI is getting, being in the trend, it's really working good. That's the feedback from many people. Anybody has gone through that? Yes. So can you just tell them what this is about?
Actually, Vertex AI, you can use it on your mobile actually. So it's built on, you can easily build a mobile application using Flutter or Android and iOS. So you can use functions, Fireface functions. Who all knows Fireface functions? No one. It's a cloud-based serverless function. So you can launch some Vertex AI model there, and you can use it on your mobile. So they both sync. So like that, you can. There are many different variety of features. You can go and explore it. It's quite easy actually.
Thank you. So just go through what is new. We have OpenClaw that is here. I do not know how many of you have worked on that. These are some things that's there. It might not be for a longer run. At least you can get to know what's happening. Yeah. So we'll just get started with the event now. So I welcome you all people to the Digital Dreamers Den Meetup 6 that's happening in YuniQ, powered by our concert IDC and ResumeX. Thank you sponsors for being here part of our event. So Digital Dreamers Den, it's a full stack and AI based community that we have based in Chennai, and we are taking it to global as well. We have been conducting events regularly, started in last year, and we are making it regularly. And our pattern is mostly based on, like, we have speakers, then we'll start with an activity in a group of both professionals and students, so people can learn from the both and build a small tool or product, anything that's based on the activity that we give. So this is a pretty intro about our community, and founder is Mr. Aravind. He works in Freshworks as lead engineer. So I heartily welcome Mr. Aravind to give an intro.
Hey, hello everyone. So before getting started, I want to know our audience demographics. Like, how many of you are here for the first time? Okay. So most of you might not know about D3 and myself. Saitya already given an overview of it. But yeah, I'll introduce myself. I'm Arvind Kumar. I work at Freshworks as a lead software engineer. I am into tech for 10 years, and D3, we started it in May 3rd, 2025. It's an AI and full stack developer community. While starting, the core idea of D3 is that we are in an AI era. everything is changing. The tech landscape is completely changing, right? We are moving from a specific domain to a generalist. Almost every company or Java developer, they are expecting like we need to, with the power of AI, we need to cover the end-to-end tech stack. Person from community, he is around close to my experience. I just went and explained him. He just asked me, hey bro, what is D3? I told him like D3 is a technology. Okay, so having 10 plus years of experience, and Saravanan, 𝗧𝗲𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗁 Software Solutions, he also have around 4.58. Yeah. So this both of these guys lead that initiative of building website for D3, and we are going to present D3 website in front of you all. Okay. So Vijay wants it to be in darker theme, so we are switching to dark theme. So yeah. So this is a new website. We just updated everything. So also the idea is to like, instead of having only sponsors and core team, we decided to give space for our contributors as well. So these guys are the one who behind an easy job at all. It take an immense effort we need to put in, because everyone is a full-time employee at some other company. They came out of passion to do this over the weekend. So if you want to organize this even today, for the past 1 month, we have to work over our weekend. We need to spend some time to what we will work, basically. First, we need to find a venue. First, we need to come up with a date where there is no long weekend, because otherwise, if we choose some date, the attendees will not be able to make it to the event. Then we need to find a venue. Then we need to find a sponsor. Then we need to find a speaker. And then we have to coordinate with the speaker. We need to come up with the promotional materials that we need to post on the social media. So a lot of works is between that to make this event happening. So my team, so this is a core team behind this. So everyone will play a key role whenever when event we are posting. They come forward. Not everyone, every time we can't expect contribution from everyone, because they might be having some personal stuff as well. So these people will fix them accordingly due to that corresponds to the schedule and other things. So that's all about D3. So this is our new website. Also, one update is that, so we are going to reach our first major milestone, that we are going to complete our first year. We started in last year May. So this year May we are planning to make something big. We are working on it. I will come up with more updates soon. But the thing is, we are rolling out call for speakers. For all these days, I just used to bring speakers from my network, because in this 10 years, I used to have a lot of network. I used to be in community space very actively. So I got good contacts in the community space. So I bring in speakers from that network. But going forward, after May 9, we are open to not only for after May 9, maybe if you can start applying. If you have any concept that you want to present in this community, use this call for speakers in a website. You can type in d3community.in. So that's our website link. There you can find this call for speaker, and you can submit your proposal. We will review it and get back to you on that. Okay. So I will also give to some present some token of love for Vijay and Saravanan, as well as, where is the team? Anyone is here? Professor Bhavadharni, she went to exam, right? Okay. Okay, then I will just go ahead with presenting you guys alone. If they come back, I will give it. Okay, then we'll park this after a few minutes. Books, we need to bring it from there. So with that said, I will hand over to 𝗖cie.
So thank you, Mr. Aravind. So I think now you have got an idea about what D3 is doing and what's our journey so far. Now we would like to welcome of this event, Mr. Rajasekar Periyasamy, Technical Architect at Concept IDC. Today the talk is going to be on designing production grade system. Can you just give him a great round of applause? So meanwhile, if you have any notes or you have your laptops, you can just note down these, be following up. So you might be having an activity based on this as well. So just keep that on your mind and start doing. So meanwhile, before the presentation is getting ready, I would like to call Mr. Vijay on the stage. So token of appreciation to be handed over by Mr. Aravind. Can you give them a round of applause? Thank you for contributing. Yes. Next up, you would like to call Mr. Saravanan. Can you give him a round of applause? Yeah, it's over to you. Okay, so we have one more contributor, Mr. Mukesh, the professor. So can you kindly come on to the stage? Can you give him a round of applause? Thank you. Okay, so if people would have not come here, your friends might be willing to come. Let them know, spread the word about this community that's happening here. We have an exclusive and massive event that's gonna be happening on May. It's gonna be an anniversary event. So make sure that you all people join us even there. So today we'll have an activity, right? I was talking about that. Few folks have just arrived. I'll just give a word on what's gonna happen. We'll have 3 milestones. Okay. So first of all, you will be divided into teams, combining both professionals and students. So it might be any of 4 to 6, a group of 4 to 6. Then you will be allowed to discuss within your team during a break. After the break, you'll be just coming in and sitting with your groups. We'll have 3 milestones. You have to be deciding your team name and who's gonna be a team MVP. Okay, so they can just come and tell us once each milestone has been completed. You have to come and inform us. The clock will be ticking. So the people who's completing first in the shortest time, all 3 milestones, they'll be the winner. Okay, so this is a short intro of that. Just be prepared. If you have your laptops, if you have not charged, I think those all instructions are being given. So even if you do not have a laptop now, cool, do not worry. You'll have your team. You can combine with them and work. Yeah. Okay. So here, I just wanted to know. So we were telling that we are rolling out call for speakers, right? So how many of you in your mind you had like, I want to be a speaker in the next event? I was just preparing. I don't know where to apply. This is some golden opportunity that I'm getting and I want to be a part of it. How many had this in your mind? Nobody want to be a speaker? Yes? Here, okay. We have to just appreciate people because not everybody comes forward. No, when I was just asking anybody who wants to give a self intro or introduce, he was the first person to come up. Okay, seeing such energy in this age is very important if you want to grow or upgrade in your career. So here I could see few folks rising here. I just spotted him. Can you just give an intro of you?
Yeah, hello all. This is 𝗧𝗲𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗹. I'm 4 years experience in the desktop application development. I'm currently working on Jogo. So basically, I love technology. In my school periods, we run a small community which is virtually in the COVID period. After that, I would be planning to develop a builders community. For that, I'm following. Last year, I'm following the I think 12 or 15 plus events, but I didn't interact with anyone else. So that's why I raise a hand now. First of all. Then as of now, I mentioned the builders community. For now, the technology is developing a lot in the both hardware and software else. The AI also developing. Before, if you're developing a simple website, we need a minimum 10 members of team. Now we one or alone itself. Nowadays we also no need. The coworker is do the what the work or what the website we needed. So that's what the technology or a skill is now. It's இப்போ நம்ம கைவிட்டு போயிடுச்சு. So we only focus on the what problem we can able to solve. So we just evaluate which is the best idea for this problem or which is the best solution for this problem. So this is the basic idea of the builders community. Don't rely on the programming language what you are going to through. Please focus on the problem and find your solution. This is the only thing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So he was just mentioning about like co-workers nowadays building a website. It doesn't take so many people. He was telling a team, no. I just recall the meme that came to my mind. Just now, this not the people are not my team. My team is Copilot, Cursor, Claude. So these are my team. That's how it has become, right? So how many of you here regularly use Copilot, Cursor, 𝗧𝗲𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗵𝗹? Yes, Claude. Yeah, sure. How many of you do not use? That's the main point here. Okay, only you don't use, others all use. Small hands are being raised up very less. Why? Why not?
So myself, Vishnu, I am more of a low-level guy. So myself, Vishnu, I'm a low-level Rust developer. So I can just wipe. When I do, it's gonna end up in certain crisis. So that's why I was focusing more on low level, and that's the reason I never wipe code, because I think my brain and thought process should be fixed over there.
So I could see 2 points in his answer. One is Bitcoin, Web3, it's centralized one. So for that there might be some issues. So he's not doing. The second is my thought process. That's the reason I'm not doing. So you could see the best of two worlds here. Okay. So what kind of domain you are there, what kind of company you are there, what's this giving you credits. So it's all depend, you can use. At least you can use it for your pet projects. This is my point. The second is your thought process. Yes, when AI, open AI like ChatGPT all came into place, we all thought that our brain will not be working, right? But it all started to work when we started to do things, okay? Have this in mind. I'll just let you know after this talk, what's the real reason and why should you be taking that into you, yeah? We'll hand it over to Mr. Rajasekar. People at the end, if you have 2 to 3 people can come seats. We have 1 here, we have 2 in the front. Anybody wants to join? Two more is there. If anybody wants to come, you can. There one and here in the front one. You also have there.
Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening to everyone. So let's start with my brief introduction, and I will. Yeah. Let's start with my quick introduction. Okay. So I am Raja, and working as an technical architect in Consider IDC. So I have over 15 years of experience, and I started my career as a developer. So I worked in back-end technology first, and I moved to front-end technologies like React, and also worked on AngularJS. And again, I worked on multiple backends, Python, Java, and slowly I moved the cooling and the network, hardwares, securities. Okay, so they will provide all those stuffs. Okay, and they are responsible for the entire infrastructure. Okay, but at the same time, the application, whatever it's related to our application, right? So it's it's our responsibility. Like deploying an application in multi-AZ. Okay, so AWS will provide multi-AZ option, but we need to design our system and we need to deploy the application in multi-AZ, and auto scaling, or the database design, or how we provide the IAM controls, the deployments. So those kind of stuffs, it's our responsibility. Okay, so we need to design, and we need to deploy our application to make the application reliable in the cloud. So as I mentioned, right? So AWS, they have multiple regions. Okay, so across the globe, and based on our audience, the application audience, we need to select the region. Okay, so the region, and inside each region, they have multiple availability zones. At least 3 availability zones they provide for each region, and each availability zone is contain servers and the data centers, and they are separated miles away from each place. So in India we have Mumbai, right? So in Mumbai also we have 3 availability zones, and they are separated physically in different places, and they are separated miles away. In case if any power outage or any happens, right? So only one availability zone will go down, and the application which runs in the next availability zone, right, it will be up, and it will serve the application. So the next one is the network. So AWS provide network options like VPC, they name it as, okay, virtual private, and the application, right? So whatever the application, we need to deploy the applications in a private subnets. Okay, so the public subnet should be used only for the load balancers or bastion servers, those kind of stuffs. We can use the public subnet, and we can use that same for NAT gateways as well. So, but the production grade application should always be deployed in private subnets. So the security groups, the next one main thing in VPC. So always provide the required access in a security group. Do not, we should not use any open access. The zeros is not a best way to create a security group. So also, if a DB is accessed by only one application inside the entire thing, so just allow the application alone to access that database. Okay, so just restrict as much as possible in the security group as well. That's also a required when it comes to a production grade application. And yeah, as I mentioned, right, so NAT gateway is one of the thing which we can use for the security purposes. So, but at the same time, when we use a NAT gateway, the cost will also increase. Okay, when a traffic flows through NAT gateway, the cost will also increase. So to reduce that, we can use the VPC endpoints. So like we can create a VPC endpoint for S3 or a DynamoDB, those kind of stuff. So once if we use that, right, so we can reduce the traffic flow through the NAT gateway, and we can reduce the pricing for that. And that's also one thing. And when it comes to the security and identity, encryption. So encryption is one of the most thing. There are two encryptions, right? So one is at the rest, and another one is at transit. Okay, so encryption at rest is nothing but the database or file storage which we use, right? Whenever, I mean, for every application we store the data in a database, and for some file storages we use S3 or some other block storages. So we should encrypt both the encrypt the data at rest, right? And then next is the encryption at transit. So transit means the SSL certificates. Okay. So for that, AWS provide ACM. So we can request a ACM certificate directly in the AWS, or we can have our own certificate and we can use that in the AWS as well. So it is important to use both ACM and KMS. Okay. So next, the IAM. Okay. So IAM. Okay. So we provide access, right? So for users, when we provide access to the users, it's better to go with an IAM, identity center. Okay. And for applications, instead of using keys, okay, access key and secret key, it's better to go with roles. So it's better to avoid using keys. Okay. Better to instead of that use roles. And so when using the roles, right, we provide access to for a particular resource. For example, if a ECS wants to talk to an S3 bucket, so we provide access. So at that time, instead of providing the full access, okay. So for example, if the application only needs to access the S3 just to read some files inside that, so don't use stars. So instead of that, use the specific action S3 dot get object or S3 dot S3 colon list buckets. So those kind of stuffs are also an important one. So least privilege is one of the key when it comes to the reliable application. And on the other side, when each application will have multiple environments like development and staging environment and a production environment, right? So it's a better way to keep each environment in a separate account. Okay, so AWS introduced AWS organizations, and inside the organization we can create multiple AWS accounts. Okay, but it can be controlled with the root account. So each account we can control it with the root account, and when providing the access as well. So AWS Identity Center that provides a centralized access for the users. Okay, we can create and maintain the users over there, and we can control the entire application using the SCP. So it's also another option which is available in the organization, AWS organizations. So we can restrict what the user can do, or what a user can create inside each of the account. We can restrict use by region. Okay, only for example, the Mumbai region only the user can access, and also we can restrict what kind of like when a traffic comes in. Okay, we need to scale the application. The first thing we will do is scaling the API layer or the web application. So we introduce the auto scaling. Okay, so even it's an EC2 application is deployed in an EC2 or in an ECS or EKS. Okay, we scale the EC2 instances or EKS parts, but we forget to scale the database. Right? When a load comes in, so the instance will scale very fastly. And that means it will serve more people. At the same time, it will send more requests to the databases. So what happens is, the more request goes to the database, it will fail to serve the request because the database is not scaled. So one option is to go for Amazon Aurora instead of using just RDS. Okay, RDS is also having read and write options, but Aurora is better to handle heavy traffic because it has native support for multi-AZ as well, and also we can scale the Aurora databases when a load spikes, right? So we can scale the Aurora database as well. So another one is we can introduce an RDS proxy. So the RDS proxy is also one way to prevent the overload. So it will control the frequent request to the database, and it will use the connection pooling, and it improves the performance of the database as well. And another side, the another way of storing data in AWS is they provide few options. So S3 is one of the option, and we have EBS and EFS storages as well. So the faster one is EBS, but we cannot have EBS in multi-AZ. Okay, so EBS we can use for in an EC2 instance to store the code, and it will run the application. But when comes to storing an user data, right, it's better to go for S3 or EFS because it has the multi-AZ options. So the reason to go for multi-AZ, right? So when a region is down, okay, recently you may came across like one of the region in I think Middle East side, right? So due to some issue, one of the availability zone was down, but the others were up and running. Okay, so if your application was deployed in the particular zone, yeah, the application might be down. So to avoid those kind of things, it's always better to host a production grade application in at least two availability zones. Okay, so that when a zone is going down, so the application will be served from the another availability zone. So we can do the same by the region as well. Okay, I will come back to that later, because that there are costs involved when you go for multi-region deployment actually. So coming back to the S3, for safety, right? So there are chances to the files might be deleted accidentally, maybe through the application or manual. There are possibilities like some of the files might be deleted. So to avoid that, we can enable the S3 versioning. So whenever a file is uploaded, so a version will be created. So and also we can use object logs to avoid the accidental deletions. So yeah, the next one, the logs and monitoring. So that's also a key part to keep the application up, or at least to know where the issue is. Okay, so for example, when someone comes in and says there is an issue, these logs and monitoring is the first place we need to go and see, or help us to identify the issue. Okay, so there are few things. Four things in the logs and monitoring. Okay, so first one, the metrics. So metrics is nothing but the performance. We can monitor the performance of an EC2 instance or a database or an ECS containers. So we can identify, is there any spikes happen during the mentioned time. So we can identify that using the CloudWatch metrics. The CloudWatch logs, actually we should log all the informations. So not only the application logs is enough, we should log the VPC flow logs or the ALB logs, and also the application server logs as well. Okay, so that when something happens, we can easily identify which part of the server is affected, and also is it from the application side or is it from a server side. There are possibilities, right? So when an issue comes in, there could be a reason. The application could also be a reason. Okay, so at the same time, the server performance also could be a reason, or maybe some glitch also could happen. So when we have all these logs, it will be easy for us to find where the issue is. Okay, so when it comes to the application, there is one thing we can add in the logs, like the trace ID. Okay, so the trace ID is nothing but when a request comes into the server, okay, we have to create an ID, and that ID should be passed to every part of the application. Like when a request comes in, it will go to the authentication part. Okay, so it will first we will validate whether the authentication, the user is a valid user or the token is a valid token, and from there it will move on to some other place. For example, if you are going to create an order, right? So we will check the product information. So for that we will do some queries, and after that we will check for the products availability, like that, right? So multiple places the application would go, and finally it will go for the notification. So for the entire flow, if we have that trace ID, it will be easy to troubleshoot the issues. Okay, so we can easily find out the request comes in, and where the request goes and where it actually breaks. Okay, so for that purpose, the trace ID is best way to identify the things. Okay, so there is one another option in AWS. So the log insights, the AWS CloudWatch provides some log insights. It's a tool to search for the logs. Okay, we can use SQL like a query to search the logs, and we can easily we can also use the same tool to visualize the things. The next one is the alarms, and so see, we have both the metrics and logs. Okay, we can set alarms. Okay, for example, if a server's memory or CPU goes beyond 60% or 80%, we can set an alarm so that we will be notified whenever something is unusual. Okay, and we can take actions based on that, and also we can create alarms like based on the log. Okay, so if a 500 error comes in, we can set some alarms like that, and it will notify us, and we can immediately take some actions. Okay, we can go and check whether which application is causing this issue, kind of stuff, and we can easily troubleshoot that as well at that time. So for these things, the logs and metrics is an important thing to identify the issues effectively. So apart from the logs, we have one another thing. Okay, so the logs will give you the issue whenever something is broken. Okay, and but we should avoid before it breaks, right? So so the monitoring, right? So it just tells us if something is wrong only. Okay, so there is another thing, the observability. So there we can see why it is wrong. Okay, and also which service is actually slow. Okay, if you take this example, the request comes in through the API gateway and goes to the database. Okay, so for example, instead of it's the request should serve within a second. So that's why that's the best timing. But if it takes more than few seconds, we need to identify where it actually the time is consuming, right? So so we need to identify that as well. So for that we can use the observability tools. So AWS provides X-ray. So that will give us a clear understanding of where which API is actually slow, and from that we can identify, okay, so this API is going to call this query, and yeah, we can easily identify the issue. So yeah, so the next the event-driven approach. Okay, so when yeah, coming back to this thing, so let's take one scenario, like a user is ordering. Okay, we have an order management system, and after an order is placed, we will send a notification to the user. Okay, so when the yeah, so event-driven is nothing but usually what we'll do. So when a user places order, we will do the order is entry in the database, and we will call a notification service to send the notifications. Okay, so it's a continuous process. Only after we send a notification, we will break that, we will end that request actually. So instead of waiting for doing all these informations, we can introduce, we can use the event-driven pattern. Okay, so that when a service the notification service is down, okay, it doesn't affect the order management. Okay, so still the people can place the orders, and but the notification only will not go out to the user. The other part of the system will still function without any issues. Okay, so for that we can use the event-driven pattern. Like we can few of the services that we can utilize in AWS or EventBridge and SQS. So in my example, right, so when an order is placed, we can send the notification. Instead of calling the notification directly from the order service, we can send that to a SQS queue, and from the queue, the orders, the notification will service will pick the request, and it will send the notification email or SMS notification to the users. So this is one way. So there is another thing, the event bridge. So event bridge also kind of the same. We can send something to the event bridge, and multiple listeners will be there for the event bridge as well, like the notification, or for example, if we need to send an email and SMS notifications, we can use that event bridge approach as well. So the SQS, when using the SQS, right, so it has the dead queue mechanism as well. Okay, it will try for a couple of times to send the queues. If it fails for a few times, we can set the retrace actually logics. So if it fails for a few times, it will send a dead little queue message. So we will be notified with that as well. Okay, and yeah. So to send the emails or SMS, instead of calling an API, we can use the SNS to send the emails. So we will just call the SNS function. Okay, so the SNS will be responsible to deliver the message. Okay, so by that way we can reduce the bottleneck over there as well. Yeah, we talked about the AI earlier, right? So we are using AI for both development and also the deployments. We are using AI, and we are using AI to troubleshoot the issues in the cloud as well. Okay, so there's at the same time, so there are risks in that as well. So as I mentioned earlier, least privilege. So that is very important when while we use the AI in the cloud. One example, recently, one of the company lost 2 years of data just because of a wrong prompt, okay, by the developer. It just wiped out the entire 2 years data from the production database. So to reduce those kind of risk, so we have to follow the least privilege approach. Okay, so that too mainly whenever we are using AI, because AI thinks, do the stuff more faster than us. It's not going to think anything. So whatever we are asking the AI, it will do. So it's in our hand to save the data or the entire infrastructure. So the least privilege is one of the thing, right? So while providing access to an AI, so we can say only read access. Okay, for production database, you can we can provide only read access, or when they troubleshoot something, right? So we can just provide the necessary the particular AI can do, and it's always good to have a check before applying the changes. Okay, so if you verify before applying the changes, it's better when it comes to the production. But yeah, and in other environments also it's better. So so deployments, sometimes more issues happen in deployment as well. Yeah, wrong deployment might happen in a production. So that's also one thing we need to consider. So AWS provides AWS pipeline or code deploy for the deployments. So if you are going, if the application is only on the AWS, it's better to use AWS tools like the AWS Code Deploy, because they have the native support for all their resources. We can easily use blue-green deployments or the canary deployments, okay, or the rollbacks also. It's very easy when we use the AWS Code Deploy itself. So while planning the deployments, always it's better to use the pipelines, okay. So no manual deployment we should not do. So also when we plan, we should plan for the rollbacks as well, okay. So when something goes wrong, we need to roll back immediately version. So we should plan in for that as well. So we should plan something like the deployment should not bring the application down. So there are ways to do the deployments with zero downtime. So for that, it's but we need to use the tools, okay. So the code deploy or code pipeline. So if you use that, we can do the deployments with zero downtime. So another thing, right? So we talked about the AZ, okay, why we need to deploy the application in multiple availability zones, so that when a zone goes down, the application in another zone will serve the purpose. So the same way, when an entire entire region is down, right, we can serve the application from another region. So for that, we can use the AWS Route 53. So that's the DNS management in AWS. And they have this health checks in the Route 53 itself. So when an entire region is going down, it will send the request to the secondary regions. So another one is the AWS Global Accelerators. So that's also used along with that. As I mentioned, the regions and availability zones earlier, I mentioned deploying an application in multiple region will involve cost, right? So there are two things that defines so how we are going to deploy in multi-region, okay. So the RTO and RPO, so recovery time and recovery point. So it's purely on the business, okay, what the business needs. Some business needs real-time data synchronization, and some business are ready for some downtime. For example, 1 or 2 hours of downtime is fine for them, and some business, right? So how much data they are ready to lose? Okay, that's also one thing. Based on that only we can define which strategy we can choose for the disaster recovery. So point of recovery point is nothing but, see, when a region goes down, so from that point to the next time when the application is going to, we are going to bring the application again, right? So if it takes 2 hours for that, so the 2 hours of data will be lost by the customer. So that's the recovery point, okay. So based on the business needs, we need to define which approach we are going to take. So there are 4 approaches, right? Backup and restore, pilot, light, warm standby, and active. Backup and restore is nothing but we will have a backup of the data alone in a different region. Okay, so the infrastructures will be created once when a region is going down. We will create the infrastructure in the secondary region after that only. And from the data backup, we will bring the data into the application, and we will start the application. But it will take a lot of time based on the application's size, okay, complexity, and it will take some additional time, okay. It may be in hours. The second one, the pilot light. So a minimal amount of instance will be running in the secondary region, okay, and core functions, okay, core infrastructure will be ran in the second region with a minimal amount of memory and CPU. So when something goes wrong in the primary region, we will increase the capacities in the secondary region. So warm standby is nothing but exact same replica will be created in the secondary region and the data will be synced between those two regions. But we will the memory and CPU, right? So everything will be low, or sometimes we will turn off the servers. And when something goes wrong in the primary region, we will start the servers or increase the capacity of the servers. When compared to the backup and the pilot, the warm standby is pretty much, we can bring the applications pretty fast in the secondary region. The last one is the active. So when activity is nothing but the same replica of the application or the infrastructure will be run in the secondary region as well. And when something goes wrong, in the previous slide I mentioned, right? So the Route 53 traffic itself will send the traffic to the secondary region. So we don't need any manual intervention at that point. But for the other three things, so when something goes wrong, we have to bring the application or the servers in the secondary regions. For the fourth one, the active, we don't need to do anything. So we are going to keep the application in two regions with the exact same replicas. The data will be synced in real time in between two regions. And the Route 53 will route the traffics to the second region when something goes wrong. So then immutable infrastructure, see, I believe you came across the IAC tools. So IAC tools remain infrastructure as code. So instead of creating the servers or databases directly in the cloud or in the AWS console, it's best to use an IAC tool. Okay, so AWS provides CloudFormation, or we can use Terraform for that. So we can, the main reason, right? So when we do something manually in a cloud, we will forget to do it in one environment. Okay, so if someone comes in and asks for you to provide access for a particular server to their database, so we will do that in one environment and we will forget that. So when, for example, when we do it for development and the staging environments, and if we forget for production, when the application deployed into the production, the application will fail. Okay, so instead of that, if we go with IAC, I just recommended Cloud Terraform and CloudFormation, but we can use any other IAC tools as well. So when we do that, so in the entire, if you are going to do change something in one environment, okay, it will be carried out to all the environments. So there won't be any the last minute issues in the infrastructure sides. And I just created one simple architecture which with whatever that we discussed so far. Okay, I just took an ECS for example. So we have 4 different services which is running. Okay, we have user management, catalog, and orders and notifications. And on the left, if you see, we have I have a public subnet. So in the public subnet, I just have only the NAT gateway and the application load balancers. And I have 2 availability zones, as I mentioned, okay, which are in private subnets. Okay, so the entire application is hosted in private subnet, and I just made one communication between 2 services. Okay, so from order to notification. So we do I just using an event bridge instead of calling an direct communication between the order notification. We are using an event bridge, so just to avoid any issues. Okay, and also on the right side we have the database. As I mentioned, instead of using a direct RDS, I'm just using an Aurora cluster with a multi-AZ options. So the data will be synced in multiple regions, multiple availability zones, and I'm just having the RDS proxy in between the servers and the database, just to avoid control the traffic flow between the servers and the database. So in the bottom I have few things. So always log everything. Okay, so application logs should go to CloudWatch or any other tools which we are using. The database log should be logged. So also it's better to log the slow query logs as well. So it will be easy to, when something happens, the slow query logs also will help us. And the X-ray is for the observability and the roles, the secrets. Okay. So, so any sensitive information, don't store it inside the servers. Keep those inside in the secret managers. And yeah, actually, NAT gateway I used only one public subnet and one availability zone in this diagram. But it always, if it for a production, it's always to better to have a NAT gateway for each availability zone. Okay. So for if I do that, the diagram will be more congested. So I just kept it in one AZ for. Okay. Finally, see the failure will happen always. Okay. So we need to design the system to tackle that failure. Okay. And we need to reduce the blast radius. Okay, so how to reduce it? So we can use the event pattern, right? So that will reduce the blast radius, as I mentioned, right? So notification service down, it will not affect the entire application. We should plan something like that. Yeah, and as much as possible, we should automate everything so that the manual errors will not happen. And least privilege is also one of the thing, and log as much as informations so that when something happens, right, it will be easy for us to identify the things. Yeah, yeah, that's all. So any questions? Yeah.
So like I'm pretty sure some of them here might have faced the same thing. Like I'll just repeat the question. So I heard from one of the persons that their database was in just one availability zone, and because of the Iran bombing, that availability zone was no longer available. So whatever data that they had in that availability zone is gone. So I understand that if somebody had to architect, so they had to think about replicating data across availability zones, or even better, so will it be better to, architect it in such a way that the availability zones are across geography, like one in North America and one in,
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, right? So multiple availability zone is mandatory for production. Okay. And multiple regions, it depends on the business actually. Okay. So like see, because it involves a lot of cost. Okay. In the data, disaster recovery I mentioned, right? So the active is what you are looking for. But if you're going for an active, right? So you need to pay a lot of money. Okay.
sorry, what is an active?
Active, nothing but you will have an exact replica of the infrastructure in another region.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a region in India, in Mumbai, and you can have another region in Singapore. That's the closest one for us, right? So the entire infrastructure will be replicated in another region, including the database. Okay.
So which means that any transactions that I'm doing in one availability zone is immediately available in the other availability zone.
Yes. Okay. So if something happens for one region, then the entire request will be routed to the secondary regions.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, but in case of if that is not affordable, then a passive one would be still that we would have lost some data. So losing data is like a given. Like if something happens within a day or two or something like that.
We can back up the database or the data alone to another region. That's also possible. We can do that. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. It depends on the business. Okay. So we can do just a database backup to another region actively, or the entire infrastructure in another region. That's also possible. So we need to define we need to understand what is required for the business, and based on that we can do we can sync the data.
Should we even design the database such that it's distributed, or just live with whatever we have and just replicate it?
The replication will be handled by the AWS itself.
Okay.
We just need to define it in the AWS side.
Cool. Thanks.
Business responsibility, right? So if you think like your system is reliable in one particular zone, it's not advisable. But even the Middle East, they have not predicted at all, right? So these days, even one of my requirement is like I have my infrastructure in UAE North in Azure. And immediately they asked me to pull it back to central India. But they are not afford to move to a additional region to UK. It depends on the business. It's their responsibility to define the infrastructure so that in case of any disaster, it will roll back or pull back, fall back to the nearest region. So if you miss it, you will lose the business. So yeah, you should.
I mean, as an industry thought itself, like, should we think about availability zone from day one instead of thinking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have to think about the reliability and the cost involved in you lose the business, right?
Yeah.
So from the day one, you need to decide. Even from the day one itself, someone might hit your region, right? You're not sure.
Yeah.
So the transaction starts from the day one.
Okay.
You may miss the first transaction itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to have a backup zone.
Cool.
Right.
Cool. And does like, there was one more theory that I keep hearing, like have multiple vendors, like have one in AWS and have another in Azure. Does that theory work in practice, or how?
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Any more questions?
Hi, I have the questions related to the previous conversation. Like முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி இப்போ from clients from Europe countries, the Europe law not allowed to maintain the data outside of the Europe. Therefore, we only maintain the data through the Europe countries, because in this scenario, there is not possible to maintain the data in multiple regions, right? They have any alternative solution for that?
Yeah, that's also it depends on the business again. Okay, so
that's why
some countries and some business, right? So you cannot store the data outside the particular country. I think even Australia has the same restrictions. You cannot store your data of Australian thing outside the Australia. So if you have multiple regions inside the country, we can use that. Because, for example, if you take America, we have multiple regions inside the America itself. We have in India, we have only one at this moment, but I think another one is they are planning. It will come soon. So if you have multiple regions within the same country, within the Europe, you can do that. But it's a kind of a legal thing. Okay, so you cannot store your data or for data outside the particular region. So in those scenarios, yeah, we cannot do. So the only possible way is we can use the availability zones instead of 2. If the particular region have more than 3, we can use that, so that we can at least keep somehow we can keep the data safe.
Thank you, sir. Just what I exactly need to ask, இப்போ நம்ம டேட்டா வந்து லாஸ் ஆகாமல் காப்பாற்றணும்னா மல்டிபிள் ரீஜன்ஸில் வைக்கிறது மட்டும் தான் ஒரே சொல்யூஷனா, இல்லை வேறு எதுவும் சொல்யூஷன் இருக்குமா?
Yeah, if you have நீங்கள் 2 ரீஜனில் வச்சுருந்தீங்கன்னா என்னென்னா, இப்போ மும்பை ஃபுல்லாகவே ஃப்ளட் ஆகுது அப்படின்னுக்கும்போது ஒரு ரீஜன் ஒரு சைடு மட்டும் அஃபெக்ட் ஆகுது அப்படிங்கும்போது இன்னொரு சைடு உங்களுக்கு அஃபெக்ட் ஆகிருக்காது. ஓகே, ஸோ அட் த டைம் இந்த அவைலபிலிட்டி ஜோன் வில் ஹெல்ப். Okay, at the same time, if some other disaster happens, okay, so the entire Mumbai region will affect it better to store the data in some other regions. okay.
Okay, if it happens, it's our risk. AWS not give any
No, they
alternative
won't.
also.
They won't.
Okay, thank you.
It's that's why I said, right, initially. So AWS is responsible only for the infrastructure. Okay, so whatever the data which we have inside the infrastructure, and எப்படி நம்ம run பண்ண போ.
So most of the companies have something called as like trying to develop something that is actually going to help in this kind of circumstances, because something of this happened during the Diwali season, right? Like complete RDS was shut down. Most of the jobs was failing. So I guess the companies have this awareness that we need to take certain action to not clients in the production environment. So I guess they're doing. I'm not sure about your. Not Amazon. It's not their thing. Yeah, our company only has to. I am not sure about this. It's both the data as well as compatibility too. So, yeah, that's how much I know, because our office was totally shattered by this outage in AWS. Yeah, because ours is like medical related company and data is everything for us. So yeah, I guess now they have this awareness that it shouldn't be pertaining to just the Middle East, but has to be distributed to different regions also. So yeah.
Thank you. I hope everybody liked the session. So thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. So next up we have with us Mr. Velu from Aquaconnect. He's also a technical architect. So he's gonna speak on practical AI for developers, live coding with GitHub Copilot. So I would love to welcome you to our stage. So meanwhile, so you people were asking the questions, right? So he gave the answer in the very first of the slides. Managed by AWS, managed by you. If you have noticed what are those, all the questions, answers, it's with you itself. Okay? Yeah. So now I guess we were talking about Claude, like why should one use or not. So similarly, he's gonna code with that now. So I was talking about why should we be part of it. Now we could see many people are losing their jobs. Many people are just, their expectation has grown, right? They want the task to be completed in half an hour, half a day. Even a product MVP can be completed in a day, right? Not just the day, 3 hours is enough. So in such cases, why we need to adapt this is to be in the industry, we definitely have to do this. Our logical thinking, according to me, it actually improves. We get different perspectives on how to develop. The main thing that we need to keep in our mind is we should know what action or what functions it does, right? So எல்லாருமே இப்போவே ஸ்க்ரீனை பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சிங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Okay, fine. I think you are very eager. You can just get on to that and we'll have an activity based on this. Also, next up. Yeah.
Everybody comfortable with Tamil? Fine, thank you. Who is using any coding agents? Claude Code, Copilot, OpenAI, Codex, Cursor, Anti-Gravity, any coding agents? Fine. Okay, now specifically who is using Copilot? Wow, a lot. Who is using GitHub? Mostly. Well, then everybody will know. Otherwise, I have to explain what is GitHub. Fine. Sorry? Fine, we'll start. This is a little bit about me. I'm working as an enterprise architect at Aquaconnect. I'm having more than 15 years of experience in software development. I'm having three teams, three different type of teams: software development team, data and analytics team, and AI research team. Agenda for this speak is, we are going to start with what is Copilot, and we move on to how we can customize, how we are differently using Copilot, and we are going to set up GitHub Copilot in our local IDE development environment, and we are going to see the small demo how we can create simple to-do application using GitHub Copilot. After this, we are getting to a more advanced portion, how we are going to connect github.com with our Copilot, and how we can do customize like GitHub Copilot as a AI programmer, AI pair programmer. So how we can ask like to code like us. So after this, we are delegate work our task to github.com coding agents. What is Copilot? Copilot is a pair programmer. Whatever you are asking, that will suggest the code. So it is trained on public data, public repository code and private repository context. Not a code, context. And you can ask Copilot to write a code, explain, debug, test the code. And you can ask to create a proper documentation using GitHub Copilot. It supports more than 10 languages: Java, JavaScript, Python, PHP, and many more. It works in your IDE, local environment, and github.com cloud, mobile GitHub, and terminal. Your private code, repository code stays as private. They won't use to train the model. And why it matters? 50% of code task is completed using this GitHub Copilot right now. PR merges timeout is reduced to 4x time. Do you know PR means? Pull request. Fine, good. And 84% of more successful builds, readability improves 3.6%. This readability means human write a code, human understanding. Now GitHub write a code, human understanding. And that more than human, it is writing good code as of now. And satisfaction up to 2.2%. 80% of developers won't go back, which means who all are using GitHub Copilot, they don't want to code without Copilot now. So 84% of people right now, they want GitHub to write a code. And the satisfaction factor is 2.2% is less if you compare. But your satisfaction, job satisfaction is something like 7%. If you are using GitHub Copilot, that is increased to 2.2%. Because GitHub Copilot only used for coding right now. But other than that is coming. And adoption is 20 million active users as on July 2025. Year on year, 400% of user increasing. And 9 out of 10 Fortune companies are using it actually. 46% of code right now coded using Copilot. If you compare 2022, it is 27%. And coding increased to 12.4% and burnout down is 17%. This coding up means a developer will not only code. They will do the documentation, they will create a commands, they will go for a meeting. There is a lot. So now, apart from that, they increase the coding. Actually, they are using GitHub Copilot to code more. beyond coding, we can use different ways. You can ask, you can use as a chat assistants. You can create automatic PR summaries. You can do code review, and you can use as a terminal assistants, and even more, you can use agentic workflows. Prerequisites: you need a GitHub account for this, and you need a GitHub free Copilot subscription. And VS Code is recommended because it is lightweight, and you can use any type of IDE in your local machine. You need a basic programming language in any language. Why they written any language? Can anyone? Because before it was React, it was JavaScript, it was Angular, Flutter, Android. Now you should know only one language to write any language. That's what. Now this is not the time actually. Yes. And you need basic GitHub commands, something like branching and committing, push, pull. Setup, you can go to github.com, profile settings, and go to Copilot, activate your Copilot. I will give the demo. So, just this is a github.com, and you go to profile settings and go to Copilot. Here you have to enable it. And go to your local IDE. In VS Code, go to extension, type GitHub Copilot. Enable this chat extension, so that chat will come. And then you have to log in, then go ahead. There are different ways of communicating to your GitHub Copilot. First one is inline suggestions. It will predict the code when you start typing. And this is good for next, it will create next line of code, full function or entire block. This will give you multiple suggestions. If you want to select, you can use escape, tab. If you want to move to next, or you want to dismiss, you can use escape. This is good for function names, comments, and variable context. This is the example code I am having now. So I'm start typing, even not only A typed, app dot get. It is suggesting. So it will give next line. Oh, okay, fine. It will give next line. How about this? Fine. And next is Copilot chat. You can ask questions and get the answers using plain English. You can generate, explain, refactor, test, all what are the things you want to do. You can use this GitHub chat. And there are 3 different type of mode is available: ask, plan, agent mode. Ask is normal, whatever you want to know about coding, you can ask using this ask mode. Plan mode is you can get the step-by-step implementation plan for your task. And agent mode is actually will do the work. After planning, you can ask agent mode to do the work, create a code. And you can open this chat window using Command Shift I for Mac, for Windows Control Alt I. So here you have a 3 modes: agent, ask, plan. And if you want to switch the model, you can switch it from here. Sorry. And you have a different way of using GitHub Copilot. One is local. Local will run on your IDE, and Copilot CLI will run on your terminal, and cloud is run on your github.com, and cloud you can run task through your cloud code. And there are 3 different ways of approvals. One is default approval. Default means you have to accept the tool calling, something like creating a new file or creating your folders and accessing your terminal to run the command. So those things, the GitHub Copilot will ask for your permission, and after that they will ask more clarifying questions. So all of those you have to answer it. And bypass approval means whatever you are tool calling, it is bypassed. So you no need to approve for creating files or creating your folders, but you have to give an answer for the clarifying questions. And third is autopilot. It will not ask any questions. It will not ask any approval from you. If they need clarification, agent itself answer it. So if you given the task to autopilot, that will do end-to-end coding, and once finished, then you let you know that code is confirmed, finished. And then inline chat, where you are coding, you can get the help using this inline chat. You can use this inline chat in your terminal also. For terminal, you can only ask like you are commenting questions, not for normal questions. And you can use this inline chat to create documentation or explaining your selected code or creating code. You can use it for this within your, where you are typing the code. I am asking to create a documentation for this selected code. It is working. It's get a full document. Depends upon your function. Depends upon your function, what your variable name is, how you can call the function. That is comes from what we have written in our file. Then the Copilot will give you the code. It works for simple validators, middlewares, authentication logic. You can build it simple boilerplate code using this command to code. You can think like command as a prompt. I am giving command now. So So it will give you and now prompt engineering. So there is a forest rule. You have to focus on single task at a time, and you have to give clear detailed instruction. That instruction should be short because short instruction will perform better. And what are the relevant files you need to create those code, you have to open it. And don't think like model will understand our code. Actually give that. Something like adding context, you have to give which language you are using, which framework you are using, and what are the constraints you are using. Something like naming conversion, function name, interface name, you should give everything. And for the first from itself, you won't get the proper code. You have to iterate and refine to get the proper result. Copilot will generate code. But before commit, you have to review and accept it. Because you are the owner of that code which the Copilot is making. That's it. That's it. Any questions? Till now. Basic. Sorry? It's okay. Fine. So now we completed the basic things. Yeah, yes. This one you are asking. This one? Sorry? Yeah, yes. Local will run, session will run on your local. And cloud is run on your github.com. And cloud, if you install the installed cloud, then your task is run on your cloud also. Okay. Yes, I'm doing. So we are going to create small application. I'm going to create new window. I'm creating new folder for my demo. Now I plan with I am start with the plan mode. Now I asked Copilot to plan for my simple application Express.js, Node.js application with single file structure with no logic, which means that it will create only to do REST API endpoint. And this is what they gave. Before getting into coding, you should read all the steps. The project structure is something like that will create a package.json and that is going to install Express and that is creating index.js for a server and that is creating that is going to create /items for to-do application and that is going to listen that port, default port. See how that Copilot is created. First, phase 1, he created the steps to code. Then he created to verify that code. Is it server is running or not? Decision they are making. That is also given. And here there are three buttons actually. So we only use two: start implementation and start with autopilot. Start implementation will start with the default approval. Start with autopilot will start with the autopilot approval. First we start with start implementation, default approval, which is going to create your folder structure, file, and then your to-do routes. This will ask each and every file creation, command running, everything this will ask to you to approve. Package.json is created. That is installed Express. Now it is creating routes. Created in index.js file. And Copilot is asking to approve for running commands, npm install. And Copilot is now asking to run the server. It is running. Now it's verifying the server is running or not. After multiple tries, he successfully completed our task. Now that is saying your server is running successfully, and these are the file is created, and these are the routes are created. And if you want to run the server your own, you can use npm start command. Now we created the simple server, REST API server. Any doubt? This will everybody will know actually. Fine. And next we are going to connect our github.com with our GitHub Copilot. Before getting to that, what is the MCP? Which means okay, good. Actually, how our front end and back end systems are communicating now? Through which protocol they are using? Same way, these agents are also using MCP protocol to communicate with our external systems. MCP is nothing but it's a format to giving requests and getting the data for your agents. Like our back and front end communicating, right? Same way, this is for agents. And GitHub is having MCP server. You can directly connect your MCP server with your GitHub Copilot. This will create repository, pushing, pulling, and code reviews. Everything you can do with this. But only one thing, you need full approval of your repository. If you are having private repository, then this might not work properly because of your permissions. You can add your GitHub MCP server through this command palette. Click command Shift P for Mac and Control Shift P for Windows, and type MCP. Click add MCP server and click HTTP, because we are going to add the MCP server through our HTTP URL, and enter the URL. This is the URL actually which they gave to connect. And enter, give a name. And there are two options are available. One is global. If you want to add this MCP server into your laptop profile, you can use global option. If you want to add your GitHub MCP server into your current running workspace, you can use workspace. That's it. It is created and it is running now. This is how you can add any type of MCP server into your GitHub Copilot. And now I am opening new session. Why I am creating new session for this? Okay. Sorry? Good. True. Yep. Because if you are using single session, it will add your context. So that's why whenever a new task comes, you got to create new session to do that, so that you can reduce your context length. Now I am going to ask GitHub MCP server is live. Is it working or not? And I'm going to ask in ask mode, not agent mode. It will check and tell you. Not currently connected. I think I have to restart my system. Sorry? You can do, but that will ask token, personal token. You got to create it from your github.com. That will not create like this. There are 2-3 ways you can do it, but this is the easiest way. Sorry? Sorry, I couldn't. Yeah, yes, you got to do it. I think our MCP server is not running. Maybe I did not give the permission actually. Yep. Just 10 minutes I will be finished. I think network is too slow. Okay. The Copilot is asking us to reload our configuration. I'm closing this, I'm opening it. Okay, fine. Fine. small authentication issue actually. So we will solve it end of the session. We will move on to next one. Why we need a customization? Till now we created application. It's working fine, but why we need to customize the code? Sorry.
This is very important. So you'll be having it. The next we have challenges, right? So this is very important. You will be need to include this in the challenge. So I would like everybody to pay attention to this content. Thank you.
Why we need customization? Okay. Sorry? Okay, fine. It's there, but still I am asking. Yep. Whatever we created, the code is created from public repository. So it's a generic one. Organizations have a different file structure for different projects, even different frameworks. So how you combine with those rules with your GitHub Copilot? That is what it is. If you added your instruction, then that will create like your pair programmer. That will create your code like your pair programmer. This will enable your team consensus. Apart from that, one more advantage is there. You can enable agent workflows, handoffs, and agent workflow reviews, Copilot reviews. There are 4 ways of. First one is instruction files. Instruction files is nothing but coding standards and set of rules which you are having with your project. Prompt files are /doc for documentation /test for creating test. You can create custom agents like role-based assistant viewer. Even development lead can create developer lead and testing lead. And one more is there, agent skills. This is like your domain expert. Whatever you are adding into your instruction file will add it throughout your prompt. Whenever you are giving prompt to your Copilot, this instruction file will add it automatically. You no need to attach these files in your chat history. There are 2 different type of rules. One is global rule, another one is path specific rule. Global rule is generic for your workspace. Like you have a folder structure, or you have a framework such that using async await, you have to use async await, and you have to use try catch for all the error handling. Those things comes under this. And path specific rules for you have a project like front end is separated and back end is separated. And front end have a different folder structure, different language, different framework, and back end have the same. So if you want to differentiate those things, you can use path specific rules. If you have already existing code, if you want to generate Copilot instruction, you can use /init command to create automatically. There are some limitations. You have to add examples wherever it's possible, and keep your instruction short so that you can get better performance. And this will not affect your inline things, inline chat, inline comments, whichever you are using within your editor, right? This will not come set up that. Sorry? Yes. Domain expert. If you need a domain expert, something like AWS expert or GCP expert, you can create like that. Now we are going to add instructions. I am creating GitHub.GitHub folder. But you can create these rules for your own. You can use ask mode, or you can use any Claude, ChatGPT. But you have to explain everything, how you are doing, what you are doing with that project, so that will give you proper line of rules, set of rules. This is also created by GitHub Copilot ask mode. I'm creating Copilot instruction.md file, and this is a general rule. This mainly for Express.js. You can create for your own language or own frameworks. And I'm creating path specific file through instructions, and queries, I am going to create DB folder and routes for unique routes, something products. And how I have to create a file name. So initially I have a route name and then routes. And how I want to respond my HTTP response. Success false, error message. So this is specifically for my backend. It is successfully created. So as per my instruction file, it is created different folders, and this splitted the folder items, controller, items, DB, items, routes, even items validator. Next we move to prompts. This is reusable prompt files, and it is on demand. You have to think which portion or which task I can use it for this prompt file. And you can use using slash commands, you can run this prompt file. Like recurring task, like test, document creation, code reviews, refactoring. Likewise, you can create your own prompt. And I have a prompt for new route creation. Whenever I am creating new route, I want to create file in controller, routes, DB, and then services. So wherever you are creating new file, you have to use that route name and then the folder name. That is what it is actually. And custom agents. Actually, I don't have time, so I'm going quick. But each and every section we have a demo. So, role-based custom agents are role-based assistant. Each and every agent have own instruction, own tools, own models, and own permission to call those tools. That's it. Okay. And you can create sub works to other agents. For example, you can create lead developer agent for parent agent, and you can create other agent, security reviewer and test writer agent as a sub agents. Instead of creating single generic agent, you can create focused multiple agents. You can combine together and then you can get the better result. Still, I have a lot of agents, but I don't have time to run it. So, move on to next one. This is autonomous agent. You can run on your cloud, github.com. And if you want to assign any task to your cloud agent, you can use this option. You can use cloud option to delegate your work to cloud agents, which is running on your github.com. And each and every PR, it won't merge directly. Whatever task you are giving to your GitHub agent, coding agent, that will create new branch, and they will push the code into your branch, and the code agent will let you know the task. Go and review the code, and then you have to manually merge it. Because this coding agent will not do the work till the end, because you are in control. You have to take all the decisions apart from coding. Apart from all these things, you can do the work on your github.com itself. They have a code space to run your code, and you can create your VS Code. You can delegate work to your VS Code local GitHub Copilot, and you can create issue using this GitHub MCP server. Apart from this, you can automatically do the code review, and you can create a pull request, PR request automatically. All such things you can do with this your GitHub Copilot apart from your coding. So, but each and every portion someone have to approve. Otherwise, your code will break sometime. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I guess you all people have got an idea how to work. Few people would have already known. Few would have gotten few insights on how we can work. Yes, I think many people would have been waiting for the we'd have announced, right? The friends. Yes, you have heard, right? So we have this as a giveaway today. How many of you have your resumes ready now? Everybody have a resume, right? It needn't be updated as well, at least few months before if you update. If you have, kindly scan this and upload your resume. So after this activity, a lucky winner will be getting this. And also you might get a call from ResumeX as well if your profile suits their requirements. And I have seen people getting offers from them. So, double dhamaka. Yes? Sorry? Yes, yes. If you have already uploaded, you needn't. But the people who are yet to upload, community upload, will give 1 minute of time and get a chance to win this. I could see smiles in many people. Yes, many people have won this in the previous meetups. And I always say, just give it a try. Maybe you might be getting this. And also you might get some money as well after getting a project. They basically do some kind of freelancing projects. So you might get a hands-on experience as well. How many of you have yet to do? Few ones. Yeah, sure. Everybody is searching their resume and just downloading, I guess. Yeah. Just always have it in handy in your phone, your name _ resume, so it will be easy for them and as well for you as well. You might never know when you will get a chance. Suddenly some person comes, your profile seems very interesting. Can I get to know you? Sometimes you may not have a time to just have a conversation with the other person, right? That time you can just share, hey, just see this. Yeah, it look amazing. So have that. Yes. I guess everybody have uploaded. Yeah. Now we'll move on to the next one. Yes. I was telling for so long, teams, challenges. Yes. So these are the milestones. We'll explain the milestones. Yeah. The first one is project foundation and documentation. Okay. To be simple, you think you are an architect, okay, technical architect. What are the coding standards? What kind of things will you practice for a product that you build in? Yeah. So this is the first milestone that you need to have a structure. The second one is reusable prompts. So what kind of custom prompts, custom instructions that you will give it to the system so that when it develops or writes code, it will be easy for that. Yeah. That is the second one. The third one is using these all things. Skill or an MCP you have to develop based on that. It can be a tool or anything that you have to develop and it should be done. That should be a demo. We have to see the demo. Demo ready one you have to develop. Yeah. You will have 40 minutes of time and the top 2 teams will get a chance to present it here at the end of the session. Yeah. So now we'll be showing you the teams. So just make sure that you know your team number. So after the break, when we call you back, you can just seated in the teams. So team 1, Sudarshan, Aarti, Pranesh, Gururam. Sorry, Guruman, sorry. The team 2, Kadirvel, Jayesh, Krishnan, Ashwin. Team 3, Deepak, Yelil, Sham, and Advan. Yeah. So team 4. You can just take a picture. Once you take a picture, you may also have your break, leave for break as well. Yeah. If your names are announced in the teams, you can leave for break. Yeah. Team 3 teams are done. I guess, yes. Team 4, Hari, Shakti, Mani, Harshini. Team 5, Harish Kumar, Mithun, Bhuvaneshwari, Rajasekar. Yeah. Team 6, Ilakya, Balamurugan, Arun, Raja. Yeah. You can take a picture if you need to know your team members. Next, team 7, Ilavarasan, Tejashwini, Krishna Kumar, Mithun. Team 8, Nadrajan, Reshma, Kadirvel, Sheriff. Team 9, Sujitra, Thiru. Sorry, I couldn't. Praxton. Okay, Ravi, Vishnu. Yeah. The next 3 teams. Done? Okay. Team 10, Indu Prakash, Selva Prasad, Govardhan Pradeep. Team 11, Saravanan, Mohammed, Shastri and Ramanathan. Sorry if his pronunciation is wrong. And team 12, Rahman, Sarath Kumar, Bhavana and Sahitya. Someone with my name? The spelling is different. Okay, you can just take a screenshot. Picture. Yes. Is everybody done? They're eagerly waiting. I could see the faces lifted at the last. Okay, cool. Team 13, Yuvraj, 𝗧𝗲𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗃 Team 14, Santosh Lalit, Shaumli Datta and Mukeshwar. Team 15, Madan Raj, Shaumya, Imran and Sharan Manoj. Yes? Eager to know your team members, right? You would have not known the other people here. Sorry? No, you will get to know. We are creating curiosity. Okay. The next set of teams, please. We'll again roll out the team numbers and the team names, so you can just remember them. Team 16, Bashil, Selvan and Vishwanath, Vishwadhan and Dinesh. Team 17, Ajay, Manik, Shiva and Shivaranjini. Team 18, Sanjay, Sendil, Nitish Kumar, Sriram. Yes? Team 16, 17 and 18. Some people are think, friends are bursting la. Yes? Yes, that's a discussion going on, right? Yes. Next. Okay, team 19, Venkatesh, Jagan, Tejashwini, Bharat. Team 20, Anu, Sri Hariram, Jagan and Abdul. Team 21, Balaji, Raghuram, Saranya, Kalai. Yes? Team 22, Olivia, Hassan, Deepika, Niranjan. 23, Raghunath, Guru, Belso, Puli. Who is that Puli? Yeah. Okay. 24, Vijay, Mohammed, Kaushik and Giri Prasad. Taken? Okay, team 25, Abhishek, Satish Kumar, Vishwa, Ritish. Team 26, Gokul, Sita and Keshav, Gayatri. 27, Bharat, Hari, Percy and Vaijish. Yes? So these are the teams. 15 minutes break. So after that, you will be seated in teams and be starting the milestones. If you are on time, you can complete the milestones and be a part of top 2 teams. பொண்ணுக்கு மட்டும் டீம் வரலையாமா? நீங்க செக் இன் பண்ணீங்களா? ஸ்கேன் பண்ணாங்க. ஆஃப்டர் ஆக்டிவிட்டி. அதெல்லாம் எப்படி கொடுப்பீங்க? Some people had doubts whenever I be giving this giveaway. We'll be just running a lucky draw and the lucky person will get this. You have to stay till end of the session to get this. We are eagerly waiting to know who is gonna get this today. I hope few people haven't registered yet and they are not part of any teams. If so, you can just come near the stage. We are here. We'll just allocate you the teams. Even if it is on-spot registration, you can just come and inform us. We'll be helping you get a team. Once again, if you are taking an on-spot registration, just come to the near the stage and inform us. We'll help you get a team.
Hi. Team 11. And you. Team 11. Team 11. Okay. Team 11. Okay. Another one. Team 11. தெரியலையே.
So we are going to start. So the people, if you are here, you can just know your team numbers. We'll call from team 1 and we'll tell you which place you can occupy. So you can just form a circle with your team and get started. And the people, if your friends are still outside, just give them a word, let them come in and we are getting started. Team 1. Yes. So team 1, please come on to the front near the stage. Sudarshan, Aarti, Pranesh and Guruman. You two here. Aarti and team 1 here. Team 1, please come near the stage. Team 2, Kadirvel, Jayesh, Krishnan and Ashwin. Team 2, you can just. Team 3, Deepak, Elil, Sham and Adhavan. Team 3, Team 1, Team 2 and Team 3, please come on. Come near the stage, quick. Team 1 is here. Team 2, are you here? Team 2. Is that Team 2? Huh? Okay. Team 3. Please raise your hands, team. Only you. 2. Team 3. Sham, Adhavan, Deepak Raj. Okay. Okay, fine. Team 4. Hari, Shakti, Mani and Harshini. Team 4, please raise your hands.